The first MPC, available at the end of this year, will work with the Palm 5 and Ericsson R280. In the future, Delphi plans to produce models for the Palm 3 and Nokia phones. No word on price yet, but Delphi says it'll be competitive with Palms and cell phones, which means somewhere in the $300 to $400 range. But for those looking to prevent gadget-induced fender benders, this may be a small price to pay for constant contact with their cell phone and PDA.
Main menu.
You can catch a new Fresh Gear every weekend afternoon at 12:30 Eastern right here on ZDTV. Up next, free software? Well, not in price, but is in freedom, folks. Richard Stallman is going to tell us the principles behind the free software movement when the Screensavers continues.
Just imagine being linked to a source of information, to a global internet adventure. Just imagine clarity in a world of chaos. Now, there's a new television network, ZDTV, your home for entertainment, explaining the power of computers and the internet, creating a world of possibilities. ZDTV, amaze yourself.
After months of hard labor locked in the basements of ZDTV, scientists announce ZDTV's premiere week. 3 new shows, all starting Monday. First, ZDTV discovers the secret equation for our new music show, Audiofile. Each week, Audiofile combines music and technology into a clinically proven combination, the best way for you to listen to and create digital music. Second, with ideas from around the world, we present You Made It, now reformulated into a weekly show. If you have a talent, a movie, or if you're just showing off, getting on TV has never been easier. Last but not least, with millions of microscopic pixel parts, we've designed Dash's Animation House. His special showcases the greatest in web animation and teaches you tricks from the masters. Share in our historic discovery. ZDTV's Premiere Week starts Monday. Visit ZDTV.com/Premiere Week now for showtimes.
The Screensavers.com on Yahoo just ain't cutting it. If you've ever watched this show before, you'll know we're the big fans of GNU Linux. But hey, who isn't? What do you know about our little tuxedoed friend? Let's take this week's Supergeek Challenge. It's from GNOME to GNU. Every question has a good answer. If you know what that is, you can register to win a free Screensavers t-shirt or cap. Where you ask? Why, thescreensavers.com, that's where. Congratulations to Eddie from Rupert, Idaho. He's the winner of yesterday's Supergeek Quiz t-shirt or cap giveaway. There's Tux with the brand new TechTV logo modeling our Screensavers t-shirt. So, what are you laughing at? What if you could buy, never mind. What if you could buy some software, tinker with its source code, then make copies for all your friends and just give it away like donuts? Sounds like piracy, or does it? Maybe that's the way software ought to be. Richard Stallman believes software ought to be free. He's the founder of the Free Software Foundation. Without him, Linux would not exist, to be honest with you. Actually, GNU Linux would not exist. Welcome. It's so great to meet you.
Hello.
You're a great hero to many of us.
Actually, most of the people who are using the GNU system don't even know it.
They don't even know.
No, they think it's Linux. They think it's all Linux, and it was started in 1991.
By Linus Torvalds, who merely wrote
I wouldn't say merely. The kernel's one of the important parts of the system. It's one of the important parts. We were working for years on other important parts, and that's why, because we were almost done.
Yeah.
So when Linus wrote his piece, that finished the job that we had started almost a decade before.
You'll be glad to know we've been telling everybody that on the show for 2 years, for 500 episodes. In fact, we talked about the origin of Linux, and I think it's really key that without the internet and without your work at the GNU...
We didn't need the internet. The internet
helps.
But
Come on.
I've worked with lots of people back in the 80s. We were just sending changes back and forth by email. You can do it with UUCP.
All right. Now let's go back in history. Let's go back in history and just real quickly recap what happened. 1986, 85.
84. We started the GNU project.
What was the idea?
I saw that most people using computers didn't have the essential freedom to form a community. you couldn't change a program because they wouldn't give you the source code. And if you shared it with your friends, a fundamental act of friendship, they called you a pirate, which is a vicious calumny. Never use that word.
Now,
never use that word.
Interesting thing. You're a man of high ethics. Most people just say, oh, fine, this is illegal. I'm going to do it anyway. I mean,
well, it's better to share with your friends illegally than to refuse to share with your friends. But if you really want to live an upright life, you should say no to that software, and that's what I do. You know, I was in a John Barlow speech, and he asked people, raise your hands if you don't have any illegal copies of software on your machine. I was the only person who did, because if I can't legally share it with you, I won't take it in the first place, because it's an antisocial, it's a scheme to divide people and keep them helpless.
GNU stands for GNU's not Unix.
Right.
But it was a Unix clone. That was the idea.
It's like Unix, but it's not Unix.
Right.
If Unix had been free, we wouldn't have had to write another. We'd just use Unix.
Why Unix?
It was the most powerful system around, and it was portable.
If you were choosing today, would you still choose Unix?
Probably yes.
Yeah.
Although I might conceivably choose Windows just because it's so popular to imitate.
You know, if somebody would go around writing a free version of this, all the, this is Windows, of all, with all the Windows utilities, don't you think that'd be huge?
It is, and there are people working on that.
Yeah.
But there are also people working on Windows emulation.
Right.
But basically, if you want to live in the land of the brave and the free, then you shouldn't be thinking, first of all, about what's convenient, what is everyone else using. No, the first thing to think about is, how can I have freedom to treat my neighbors decently, and freedom not to be helpless myself.
Yeah. Let's talk about
the way to do that. You've got to defenestrate your computer. Either you throw the computer out of the window, or you throw the windows out of the computer.
One or the other.
Right.
Let's talk about the difference between free and open
gratis?
source. Well,
okay.
First of all, let's say what you mean by free.
Free software means you have the freedom to make changes in it, so you've got to have the source code.
Yeah.
Free, you've got to be able to get it if you want it.
Right.
Freedom to distribute copies to other people. Freedom to help your neighbor.
Not free, no cost.
That's irrelevant. Price is a secondary.
So I could charge for free software.
The freedom to sell copies is part of the essential freedom. If you're not allowed to sell copies, it's not free software.
I had somewhere, here it is. This is the central document of this all, the GNU public license, the GPL. This is the license that most of the software that comes with the Linux distribution is written under.
In a GNU/Linux distribution.
Right.
Most of the programs in the GNU system are covered by this license, but there are other free software licenses too. They're legitimate. It's a choice of strategies.
Okay.
The GPL is designed to defend people's freedom as actively as we can.
It's political. It's a political document.
This is for freedom. Freedom is political.
Absolutely.
The practical man who doesn't pay attention to politics and his freedom are soon parted.
Absolutely true. Now, what's the difference? You have some arguments against open source software. It's the latest kind of...
It's an alternative movement. We in the free software movement, we're a political movement for freedom.
Right.
We wrote this GNU system, not every piece of it. You know, Linux wasn't written for this reason, but we started the GNU system and we basically got it done for the sake of our freedom and your freedom and everybody's freedom. That's what it's all about.
And now, the people came along and said, we don't want this political stuff. No corporation will go with it.
They think that the most important thing is to get the support of business.
Right.
And I don't agree. I think the most important thing is to spread the word about freedom and community to other individuals.
Now, you're a programmer. You're a hacker. You like this stuff. There's obviously a benefit to somebody who can write their own software. What is the benefit of free software to somebody who is a user, doesn't write software?
If you're in business, then one of the benefits of free software is you can commission somebody to make the changes you want. Maybe your company doesn't do software, but you probably use some software.
What about my mom? She's not going to commission somebody to write a program.
She may not, but she'll get the benefit. For one thing, she may be able to ask of some programmer you know to, as a favor, make some change for her.
Right.
And she gets the benefit of the better security and privacy from having people checking it for bugs and noticing deliberate Trojan horses.
We talked about that earlier. We were talking about the security of GNU Linux versus Windows.
Unix was designed to be fairly secure because it's a multi-user time-sharing system.
Right.
So even once you've got logged in, there's some security.
Right.
In
Yet
Windows, traditionally there wasn't.
It was bred in a university environment where openness was kind of more the mode.
And I believe in that.
And
but
so.
It has a basis, a fundamental architecture that makes possible security and privacy.
Well, it has file permissions. This doesn't have anything close to
exactly.
that. Right. Okay.
Well, with Windows, as far as I know, once somebody gets in, it's child's play.
Everybody's root.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and another thing is, many freedoms are important for society, even if not everybody's going to choose to exercise them. Maybe your mother's not going to choose to learn to make even simple changes, but it's essential, just as freedom of the press is essential. Not everybody writes articles for publication, but it's essential that everybody have this freedom.
Right.
Freedom to share and change the software you use is an essential freedom that everybody should always have for all published software.
Would you get rid of the whole infrastructure we have now of proprietary software?
Of course.
Software companies?
And not only that, but if I can't, since I personally don't have power of any kind, I can't personally get rid of it. I can only ask people to opt out of it.
Right. What do you give up?
I personally won't use it.
You don't use commercial software. What do you give up?
I use commercial software. I don't use proprietary software. I use free commercial software.
Right.
There's more and more free commercial software.
Right.
Software's commercial if a business is developing it. And more there are businesses developing free software.
Do you use the Linux kernel at home or are you using Herd?
Of course. I never worked on the Herd, the GNU kernel myself. And it's just beginning to be reliable now. They found a couple of bugs that were clobbering files because of timing errors. Horrible bugs. Okay, you wouldn't want to use it for production at that stage. But you know, Linux is free software. It's perfectly good. You should use the GNU and Linux system. Yeah,
it's GPL.
You should use the GNU and Linux system.
Have you and Linus talked?
We do occasionally. We never work together.
Do you see eye to eye on this?
No, actually. He agrees with the open source movement. He thinks it's a matter of practical convenience only. I think practical convenience counts for something.
He's apolitical.
He's apolitical.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not. I want you to know the GNU system, in which Linux is normally used as the kernel, exists because of political idealism. It's idealism made real. There are people who think idealism is impractical.
Most people watching would say, "Oh, come on, Richard! I need Windows. I need my applications.
They don't realize.
How am I going to live without Microsoft Word?"
I live without it.
Yeah, but you wrote Emacs.
It depends on your priorities.
Yeah.
Depends how much you care about convenience today or standing up for your freedom. Do you want to live in the land of the brave and the free? That's your choice.
We do. We do.
If you care about it, then do what it takes.
Yes.
Contribute to free software.
We have a great article Richard wrote. Do you think it's... First of all, if you've got Emacs, is it Control-P, Control... to get the manifesto? It's built into all copies of Emacs.
Actually, it's a Control-H command. If you type Control-H question mark, you'll get a list of the subcommands.
Read the GNU manifesto. It's a perfect way of understanding what he's talking about. Of course, your website also has
www.gnu.org.
Yeah.
If you want to find out about GNU, about the GNU/Linux
Are you still looking
system,
for people to write and work on it?
Of course, because now that we have free operating systems, we've got to advance to all the applications.
Yeah.
Everything you want to do with a computer, you should be able to do without giving up your freedom.
You must be gratified, though, by the success of GNU Linux, apart from all the slight differences, because this is your vision.
It's succeeding for now, but there's uncertainty about the future because the software is being used by 20 million people, but most of them don't hear the ideas. And you know, if you want a free society to last for decades and get stronger, people have to be thinking about the ideas of freedom. Not if people are enjoying freedom today, but they don't know what it is and they don't think about it, then they're in danger of giving it up.
Richard, that's why you were here today.
To give it up.
I really appreciate your coming in, and I support the fight. Keep up the good work.
Happy hacking.
Yeah.
And don't use the word piracy. Call it unauthorized copying.
From now on, I promise. And we'll call it GNU Linux.
Thank you.
Thank you, Richard Stallman. And thank you for all your work. We really appreciate it. Richard Stallman is president of the Free Software Foundation, but so much more. If you want to know more about the GNU project, maybe to volunteer, the free software movement, be a part. Check out www.gnu.org, as Richard mentioned, and, of course, his great article on our website at thescreensavers.com. Great way to make our 500th show special. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate it. Coming up next, we're going to hear what you have to say, your emails and faxes, when the Screensavers continues.
Hi, I'm Josh Tripper from Westminster, Maryland, and more of your toughest computing questions are answered when the Screensavers continues.
Hello, this is Richard from Lake Charles, Louisiana on ZDTV. Amaze yourself.
Illegal operation, fatal error. I got your fatal error right here.
Is this the type of person you want working on your computer systems? Call Specialized Solutions to get the training necessary to assure this doesn't happen to you. Start your career off in the computer industry as a trained professional, or take your chances and wind up like this guy.
Does your e-commerce site have what it takes to be the UPS Merchant of the Week? Put it to the test. Go to ZDTV.com, click on the Merchant of the Week, and enter your e-business. Your .com could win a week of promotion on ZDTV. Vote for this week's contender and you could win a $100 gift certificate from Buy.com. It's a win-win destination. At ZDTV.com, click on the Merchant of the Week.
Now entering the all-new ZDTV store. First floor, shirts, cotton tees, twill, and fleece. Second floor, hats, many styles. One size fits all. Third floor, coffee mugs, Old French roast with the most. Plus much, much more. Visit ZDTV.com/store to order or call toll-free 1-800-288-0443.
This just in, the World Wide Web just keeps growing.
Internet Tonight, breaking the web down into tasty bite-sized morsels.
We encourage you to exercise your geekiness and send us your own homepage.
Internet Tonight, your daily diet of the interesting, insane, and incredibly useful of the web. Coming up next, only on ZDTV.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. Here are the preliminary results of today's web poll. What is a trip to Mir? 30% of you say a reward, 70% of you say it's a punishment. Guess what, folks? You still have 24 hours to vote, and that's not all. We've got a ton of ways for you to let your voice be heard, and they're all at the Screensavers.com.
Make sure you vote. The Mir astronauts did not get chance. So we got your faxes, we got your emails, but you know what? I don't think we really have time for that. I think what we're going to really do is say thank you for 500 great episodes, and here's to 500 more great episodes. We got a little celebration, you know.
Party?
One of the guys who's been with us all along, ladies and gentlemen, Ken Marcus, now the series producer for the Screensavers, is here with a bunch of pizzas to begin the celebration. He's kind of, think of him as our Wilson. Ken, where's the Jolt Cola? You promised us the Jolt Cola.
Where's the soda, Ken?
He's got less hair, but he's just as cute as ever.
Oh, man.
Hey, there's so many people who've done so much. Stacy is here. Jennifer Marcus couldn't be here. She's got tickets to the Giants game, so we're sorry. But she'll be on the set. Stacy will be in a little bit. And I think that pretty much does it. We got the pizza. We got the party. We got Pat.
Right. We got Leo.
500 episodes.
We
Thank
got
you
all
so
of
much. Tech TV.
Huh?
Hello.
Is it time to...
Oh, my God. We forgot something.
Hello. I'm standing on the stairs.
It's Kate. Oh, my God. Oh, can you do it? Oh, my God.
How you doing?
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing good.
And now a message from the manager of the ZDTV Netcam network.
You call them vibrant, talented, and boisterous. We call them our Netcammer of the Week.
Mike's females are quickly gaining popularity at ZDTV.